Hello. So, my name is Louise Blakey. I am an artist. I live in Cornwall. I work full time. I have 3 amazing children. One of them's actually an adult, but it's really weird saying anything else than I have 3 children. I have 2 children, 1 child who's an adult, because he's 20 and at university. And I currently am creative around my job and my family life, which means for me that's creating evenings, weekends, annual leave, holidays, Christmas shutdown, and really creating for me means I am more fulfilled, because when I'm creating my brain is quieter and I feel really alive when I'm creating. So I suppose art is for my well-being, and creating items from my art brings me absolute joy. One thing I'm very good at is being quite isolating to myself in my creativity, because for some reason, and it's something I have never got through, is I feel really shy about the creative side of me, and I have been trying to challenge it for a long time. And I'm a little bit of an island in my creativity. I think it's because I feel so vulnerable when I'm being creative, because they're things from my brain and from my heart, and it's nerve-wracking releasing those to the world. Even when a tiny amount of the world sees it, I'm still grateful for everyone who supports and follows along in my artwork and my creative life. Then it makes me feel really shy. So I thought it would be really fun to make longer format videos again, and try and attempt again to break through some of those feelings of absolute shyness, because I'm really proud of what I make, and I'm proud of the quality of the things I make. They feel very random, and I don't have a niche of art. But I think it's important that I try and find people who are like me, who maybe shy away from showcasing their work in an active way. And, I post about my artwork on different platforms, and I'm very proud of it. What I'm not very good with is doing that in person. And that's the bit I really need to challenge. So I thought long format videos, and just facing up to the facts that it would be good for me, and maybe find some people would make me happier, and feel less like I'm trying to work through something really tough. So I thought a good starting point would be to show you some of the stuff I've made, and also maybe flip through a sketchbook. So I think that's probably quite a good insight into who I am and the randomness of my brain. So if you fancy following along, I'd love that. And if you fancy following, that would be also amazing. So let's have a look at my sketchbook. So this is one of my current sketchbooks. I don't work in one at a time because I can't, because my brain doesn't work that way. I jump between them. This is one of my stickers. I can't remember where I got that one. I think probably one of my children gave it to me. But I do love working in a sketchbook. This is a Strathmore mixed media. These are tissues, because I was working in a coffee shop yesterday. So I don't know about anyone else, but I use these as a way just to let me know that I've got a page that needs filling. And I painted Ratatouille. And this was from a film, which I can't remember what it's called, but it was such a lovely film. I watched it with my son, and I really enjoyed the characters. And I actually went wrong under this bit, so put a post-it note here. But I think it looks really effective, which is really good. And I really like drawing faces and doing portraits. I love capturing time. So this was the first day of spring. I captured a picture of flowers from my sister's garden, which were actually flowers from my mum and dad's house. And that's some of her kitchen. I work often in mixed media. So there's gouache in here, pencils, watercolour, inks. This was to capture the coronation of King Charles, and that's mostly watercolour and some pen. This is I want to call it the Smeagol Lighthouse in Plymouth. I don't think it's called that, but it might be. But also the word Smeagol is glorious. And then I've got a roller skater. I live in Cornwall, and in Cornwall, along the Prom in Penzance, you get lots of skaters. So I actually drew the skater who was at the on the Prom, but just put a different background in. I did an artist study of David Hockney one day because my daughter was studying in him during one of her art classes. So I thought it would be really good to capture some of his work. This is, I was eating ramen one day. So this is what I mean when I say I don't have a niche. I'm all over the place. But again, I love drawing portraits. I love stars. Ramen's one of my favourite things. And I've incorporated some stamping here, which I really like. I don't love this page whatsoever. I think I've done a disservice to this person. But it's artwork I've done. So, you know, you've got to embrace it, haven't you? And this was, I pulled, what cards are they? Some Sacred Creators Oracle cards, and the card I pulled was Magic. And that's how I sort of visualised it in my head. This was just a plant that I drew while we were waiting for my other half to do a skydive one morning. And there was a plant pot in the coffee shop. My daughter's obsessed with Matthew Gray Gubler. And whenever I draw someone and it doesn't really necessarily look like them, I'll often write their name and then, "Is that you?" ? And this is a marvellous old typewriter that was, again, in a different coffee shop on my other half's birthday when we went for breakfast. One year I joined in with Folktale Week. So this was me just sort of doing a little introduction to the words and the location, I suppose, of the story. Because I live in Cornwall, this is St Ives, and you can see Godrevy. I often draw boats. I don't know why. Comforting, maybe because I adore the sea. I enjoy those. I enjoy how pencily they are, and a tin mine, because we're in Cornwall. We're surrounded by them. This page is slightly terrifying in the format it's in, but it's sort of one I chip away at, and I think that's really important in a sketchbook, to have work that you work on over a period of time. Because when you have art block, pages like this are marvellous, because you don't necessarily need to feel inspiration to create something new. You can just, go back and carry on figuring out the form of the face. I also like drawing birds, even though I'm terrified of them. I'm also dyslexic, and I had no idea I'd spelt that wrong until afterwards. But that's quite funny, and I think, again, it's a mistake, but important to capture. And this was just a quick drawing I did whilst I was waiting for my other half in the opticians. And he looked so sad, so I called him Depressed Seagull. We went away one summer to Bradford on Avon, and we stayed at a house called the Shambles. And this was actually the doorknob, and there was another face for the reverse side of the doorknob, but I just thought it was so different. Thought it's great to capture. And this is, I think it's Trerice, which is a National Trust house, and I captured some of the building. And here is a progression of fishermen. And this was my first sketch, and then continuing down to my final sketch. But I really enjoyed the brightness and vibrancy of this page. And the same with the fish. Yeah, they work quite well together, which is never, ever my intention. I mean, I'd love a sketchbook that just actually worked really well together. But I can't say that's how I planned it. I'm quite spontaneous in how I create. This is another National Trust place. I've forgotten what it's called actually, but it's near Haymore in Penzance. And this was a spooky house. I did one drawing challenge, and it's with the words creatures, house, and ribbon. This is a sketch I did of my dad, which we lost my dad actually, and I've inked it since we've lost him. But it's quite an emotional page for me, and I feel like I haven't captured him very well. But also, I kind of have, and because I've had so many compliments about how I've captured him, that when you just feel like you've not done your loved one justice, and he'd just laugh at it. I'd be like, oh God. This was Mousehole Harbour, where we had a Sunday stroll. My other half was reading in the sunshine, whilst I was drawing a building in the harbour. Again, this is me just drawing an apple. This is an amazing bird in foy. And I'm really happy with how I've captured the shading. This Strathmore book is so lovely, the quality of the paper, and it's so nice to interact with and turn the pages. This was, I think this was an Inktober drawing challenge. And I like how I've captured him. He looks kind of angry or mysterious, and I think that's quite good for Inktober. This was me sketching down at Chapel Porth Beach. I can't say I've finished this one because it's, I don't know, it's not as, the sand just looks too line-ish and there's no sky. So again, it's one I'll keep working on. This was one of our beach trips, and this was going out on a day where it was super windy near Marazion, watching the windsurfers. This I'm very happy with the jumper. And again, this is mixed media. I wish her eyes were a bit softer, but she's 70s, so there wasn't really softness in the makeup a lot. So, but I'm really happy with the shading on the lips. Really happy with how I've captured her. This is the market in Falmouth. And this was this year in June. This was a couple on a beach, Porthmere Beach in St Ives this July. You wouldn't know it, but this is Hugh Grant in Notting Hill, but I haven't finished that one. And again, this is me on a day out in Plymouth with my son. I drew a cannon, but I haven't got to the other pictures yet, but I took some photos. And that's really it for my drawing in this sketchbook so far. But I have got a Doodly Stars picture at the back, which I love doing that when I feel a little lost. And then I've got some sketching, some, what's it called? Swatching. I've got some swatching there of my Ecoline markers, which I really like. And that's it. So I hope you like my sketchbook. And just as an example of some things I've made lately, so I've made a witchy sticker sheet, which I'm really happy with. It took me a lot of goes and a lot of failed attempts to get back into doing this again. But I'm super happy with the quality of this. And I've also had a go at making a bookmark. And it's a cow bookmark, so it's double-sided cow, and it attached in the middle with a magnet. I'm really happy with that. It'd be lovely to know what you think. If you have any feedback, that'd be great. So that's me in a little nutshell. I would love to know what you think. It would be nice if there's other people who feel like I do and feeling just a little bit shy about their creative part of their life. And I would love to know, what you create. If you're like me and you're just all over the place, I know I need to celebrate that because not everyone has a niche, and I know so many people struggle feeling like they don't have a niche. And yeah, it'd just be lovely to hear from those who feel similar to me. But I appreciate you watching, and hopefully next time you can see tasks I'm actually working on rather than showing you what I've done, and maybe a bit less chatty as well. But yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.